we're checking out PlayStation 4's Remote Play with iOS. So you're able to download the app and actually stream your console to your phone. It's a very interesting sort of setup. So we're going to start off by checking out a simpler game. So basically this is what you get. As you can see, the HUD icon, it connects to your account. You sign in to your PlayStation account. It sees if there's any PlayStations in the area. And once that's done, it connects. You might need a fairly decent local internet connection in regards to getting it going. For context, I am on Wi-Fi with the PlayStation 4 and Wi-Fi on the iPhone XS, and my internet connection is 50 megabits down and 12 up. Like 52, but that's aside from the point. Then when you're going in, you have this HUD option, so you can see that you can share, you can get your options, you can exit out. At the bottom you see the PlayStation logo. Yeah, and then we also have a microphone option in case you want to put audio input into games, so you can do like actual chat. It's very interesting. Then you tap the screen where it'll automatically be there if you're playing a game, and you get this overlay touch kind of interface. So that's cool. What's neat is you can play it horizontally like this, or you can actually go vertical, and then your screen adjusts, and hopefully in video context that works well for showing this. And then you get a different presentation where you have the full, more traditional, I'd say, kind of TV screen at the top, and then you have your control scheme at the bottom, which actually kind of mirrors the controller. I personally feel, just for phone style, that I am more, kind of used to this style. So this is kind of largely what we're going to be presenting with. Cool, so we're going to jump into the game. The connection actually seems to be really, exact. I haven't really noticed too many issues. It's interesting to see this kind of thing, because I know Microsoft is working on the xCloud, right, which is going to be like a streaming service. I want to note that these really aren't the same thing. So this is like a mirroring of your console with the input over top of it, which is not quite the same as like streaming the games by themselves, if that makes sense. Just want to kind of get that context along. But yeah, it does seem to be quite responsive, and once this game does load up, we're going to jump in here. So this is new to PlayStation. Just going to play a local game. It's actually a cool little game that I'm kind of enjoying. Hit the game length. Okay, mutators. Sure, why not? And we'll just we'll throw in a couple AI just to kind of show what it can do. And the next one. And the audio seems to be really clear. I haven't really noticed any disconnects. When I am playing, though, occasionally I'll get like fuzz things that show up on top of the screen. So that means that just little connection issues in regards to not the game having performance issues, but just kind of the network sending things over. But I mean, you get a pretty clean image, which I was very surprised about.
Let's do this.
I am noticing when it's in this screen that it does seem to I don't know, it's almost cut a bit. It doesn't use the full phone's width, but then again, the XS is a very kind of tall phone, as most are these days. Again, loading in here. Just gotta give it a sec to roll. And I get the mutator. So you're seeing little kind of staticky things. Those are not actually part of the game, but I don't know what happens. Confusion. Decoys will do confusion. Just like a mutator. And then we'll jump in, show a few minutes of gameplay, and then we're going to show off Spider-Man, because I think that's kind of a good indication of what you can do in this one. This is a little bit laggier than it usually was when I was testing it. Okay, now it's smoothed out quite a bit. I don't know. So this game is just a bunch of little weird party games. That is the point of it. It's just a series of weird little things that you can do, and you kind of compete against it. You compete online, or you compete locally with friends if you want to. And there's daily challenges. I'm not sure I would directly use Remote Play at this point for competitive games, but it might be a nice little extra thing to do to kind of somebody wants to use the TV, you can jump on your Remote Play. I guess it's sort of like what the Vita used to do, if that makes sense. Ooh, I just missed. Come on, Balloon Guy, we can do this. And just because I'm this is what I've been playing recently, that's why I thought it might be a good example to kind of showcase, what this thing does. But I think a better presentation of really what it can do will be with Spider-Man, so we're going to hop into that game and kind of show that off. Because this is one of their more premium type experiences, right? Spider-Man, first party. Big title, obviously. Amazing game. If you haven't played it, you should definitely check it out. one of the best games, I think, of perhaps the generation and on the platform. Really spectacular. Great story, great characters. And we're going to jump in and just kind of like free web sling hopefully around and not have too many troubles with that. Again, the HUD kind of just disappears as well sometimes, so that's sort of nice. And when we're playing this game, I'm going to kind of show it with these initial controls, and then I'm going to swap over to kind of the the vertical style, just so you get a different idea of how the games actually play when you are handling them with the different HUD options. Now here we are at the menu, so we're going to jump in. It's my game save, got all the DLC and everything. We're just going to continue in and see how she goes. Remember, your PlayStation is doing the work in this. It's mostly like a mirroring system, if that makes sense. Where you are streaming it over the local network, but you're making the connection to the actual console. And when it shows the icon on the top left, that means it's having, kind of connection issues, or it's just like the connection isn't as strong as it should be. Could be that the game's a little bit more demanding to stream, or it could be network fluctuations and stuff like that. Here we are. That's this is the Spider-Man game. Wow. And it's not bad either on the phone. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but it's kind of impressive to see this. So before we start swinging, quickly just going to show off this perspective. Oh, we're having a slight recording connection issue. But anyways, we're going to continue moving along here. But yeah, there's definitely some noticeable, like, kind of lag at times that pops up. And, I don't think they've got it perfect. I'm assuming the stronger your network is, the better sort of performance you're going to get. I just think it's really interesting that they're testing this out even. Yeah, definitely some pixelization. Ooh, yeah, that's not great at all. I wouldn't even say that's quite playable. But let's make it a bigger screen so I can actually kind of have a better handle on things. Yeah, it's kind of like a complex thing, and you kind of have to relearn how to actually control a game, moving from touch to, from controller to actual touch screen. Because it's a whole different experience. Yeah, swinging along. And I think it just takes more time to really get a hold of. Yeah. I'm not sure if you could even really, I don't know, just in my mind, kind of controlling it like this, it might be too intense. But if you get used to it over time, it might feel as natural as a controller. Because it is taking the controls and it's just putting them into a different HUD sort of experience, right? There is a reason why we love the controller and we haven't moved to motion controls over time, even though we've tried to, and why peripherals seem to fail over time as well. But I hope this is kind of like showing off what you can do with it, just in terms of the quality and just kind of comparison for context of my network. And I mean, it is technically running quite well. It's very responsive, which is surprising. Like, I don't really feel that there's any sort of control delay in what I'm actually pulling off here. I am having some troubles getting used to the controls again, but it's kind of becoming a little bit smoother. My network seems to have at least stabilized, and it's streaming fairly well. Just a little bit of a, degrade in the quality over to the phone, because it could be cleaner. My XS, that does actually have pretty good visuals on it for the most part. But now I'm actually swinging along, as you're seeing. I don't know if I'd be comfortable doing combat. I don't know, it's just, it's interesting. That's what it is to me. I find this very interesting. Let's see if we get this going. Yeah, throw that along. Huh. My spider sense is tingling. Guess we could try to get up there and go kill those guys. I am dead. Never mind, we're not going to kill anybody. We're going to die, sadly. And horribly. But we'll respawn, and we'll try it from this perspective again. See, like, I don't know what it is about this one. It looks weird. It's like I'm playing it on one of those old iPod, like, not touches, but old iPods. I don't even know what they're called at this point, to be honest, because it's been so long. But you know what I mean, right? Where you got like the controls at the bottom, like real physical controls, and then at the top you got like a screen where you can see your music that's playing. That's what this kind of reminds me of. I don't know, it's just kind of like, it's really awkward this way. And I feel like you have to really just relearn how you play a game, having to do it in this type of perspective. I'd say generally overall I'm impressed by the quality that we're getting for the most part. I mean, there are some connection issues that you've seen, but once it seems to like stabilize and get itself going, it's actually a really rather clean connection and presentation of the gameplay over to your phone. And of course, this is going to wildly change based on your internet connection to your network, and the type of phone you have too. I would imagine would factor into it a little bit too in terms of power. Cool. So I think that's good for Spider-Man. Let's see what kind of other game I might have here. I think Apex Legends would be a good choice because it's a shooter, but at the same time it might be a little bit hardcore. You know what? We'll do Apex Legends. That's kind of what I have sitting here right now. Jumping along, it's like not like we were doing anything important in there. I don't know. Rather interesting, that's for sure. I mean, it does take the experience down and it moves it into a compact style. And I think maybe some people might really appreciate playing this. Like, you know, you have someone watching the TV and you can keep playing your game, right? Or someone else can play a different console and you can play your game, or you can have like a kid playing a game while you're playing something else. And you know, it's an interesting sort of option, I think. Let's get ready. Oh, I forgot it's got this like weird little aiming thing, doesn't it? For like the menu options. Where is that? Oh, that is terrible to use on this, strangely, even though it's touch. Because the sensitivity, there we go. Now we'll matchmaking into a match. I think FPS might actually be easier for this because I do play a number of first-person shooter titles. It's really like a mental game in regards to taking your knowledge and what you're comfortable with on a controller and then shrinking it down and moving it into like a touch situation, right? Because you get used to the controller, you get used to your keyboard. It's not hard to move from keyboard to controller, I feel. I know some people have problems with that, but you get the context of it. It's kind of just like a new control scheme that you have to get used to. And the response time I don't think is really something that could cause a problem in regards to shooting and feedback, so I think they've actually created a rather interesting control option for the game. Oh god, we gotta do this. Ugh.
Let's take this week. I've put the time in. I've earned my stripes.
I don't know if I ended up with my character. Okay, good. At least I think so. Can't really see the bottom of the screen. Seems like cut off, kind of. Well, I mean, you're seeing what I'm seeing, so. It's like a fade out they do for some reason. It's interesting. This should be a really interesting showcase of what it can do. Well, I mean, Spider-Man kind of was, but, you know, all to their own.
We're dropping hot.
And it looks like that guy broke off or something. Or did they disconnect? I don't know, whatever. It's get into the action. It's just kind of crazy having like the full experience of that game on the phone. And I know phones are certainly catching up in terms of like what they can play. This actually feels strangely natural.
G7 scout here. First blood. First blood. Good thing it's
But at the same time, it's kind of like a little bit awkward to do this. Because I'm not sure I get... Okay, there we go. Sprint is a double tap, and that seems to work. It's definitely not as natural as using a controller. Sorry guys, I'm trying my best here. Come on. Come on. Oh, give me a break. I want that grenade. Screw it. I don't want it. I don't want the grenade. I do want a gun though. And the map is kind of like a little harder to see because the HUD icons are over top of it. Now we're still rolling along. Just a slight disconnection thing he has to do with the PVR on the phone. Anyways. Visually this one also looks good. Just a little bit of static in the picture quality, but definitely seems to be running well. I'm hoping to get a gun. I'm having trouble kind of interacting with the sprint, which could be a huge problem when I'm in combat. Let's see what we get here. Gun, ammo, no gun. There's a bag. Like at times it's sensitive, but then not sensitive enough. It's weird. I feel like I'm really gonna let my team down by not having a weapon of some sort. Great. It's almost like I wish they would use the phone a little bit more to its advantage, because I do have all these, like, I think there's an enemy there. Like, I do have all this side room that's not really being used on my phone. Are you alright, teammate? Do you need help? I killed him. Let's see what we got here. I'd have a shotgun. Oh crap! How do I? Yeah, that's awkward. I don't know. It's an interesting way to play. It's definitely different. I can definitely see this evolving more in the future. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of Xbox does with their xCloud. Because again, it's kind of a little bit different than this, but the concept of what they're doing with this is actually really interesting, and I'd say it's decently well implemented. I know there's been some slight issues, but you know, it does definitely sort of work here, and I think it works quite well for what it's trying to do. I'm not sure if I'd really do like competitive kind of gaming on this, but you might be able to enjoy some other titles on it. Like, I feel like it would just kind of frustrate me, like having ooh crap, what I feel is like disadvantaged controls, like the touch going up against like you know, a controller, right? Especially with the connection like impacting it too. Let's keep going. Just mostly trying not to die and trying to be helpful to my teammates the best I can while I'm playing this. That's very interesting. Alright, what's everybody else up to? Like I can't. Some of the HUD seems like cut off. That's kind of what's bothering me here. Is that like you see at the bottom, like there's just this like blackness, and you can't see some of the HUD icons.